we are going to start with some vocabulary words, okay, that we're going to find in the book. The first vocabulary word that we're going to learn is, can you say this word with me? Let's sound this out. Let's see if we can sound this out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. What do you think ridiculous means? Say it out loud. Any guess, whatever you think it means, ridiculous. And then I'll use it in a sentence. Ridiculous. I'm going to use my sentence. Are you ready? I love to put my hair up in many different ways, like this, in a ponytail, maybe another little ponytail off, side ponytail coming forward. And a lot of my friends say, Jocelyn, your hair looks ridiculous. Looks really silly. Is that a good sentence? Does that give you more of an idea of what ridiculous means? So now tell me again, what do you think ridiculous means? Okay, I'm going to read the definition so that we can know with the picture. Ridiculous means very silly. Something that's very silly, funny, ridiculous. Like this house looks kind of ridiculous. It's got a bottom part that's curved a little bit, a top part. Oh, look at the chimney. It has like a part of the chimney wrapped around the other chimney. It's kind of ridiculous. It's very silly looking. So ridiculous means very silly. When we hear the word ridiculous in our book, Chameleons Are Cool, what's a good word what's a good movement we can use for ridiculous? I'm thinking maybe we can do something like this. Ridiculous face, a silly looking facial expression. So I'm going to do that when we hear ridiculous in the book. Okay. The next word I'm going to tell you is, here's the picture, here's the word. The word is surroundings. Surroundings. Based off this picture of surroundings, what do you think surroundings could mean? Surroundings. Say it to yourself or say it out loud. Surroundings. What could that mean? Surroundings. And now Miss Jocelyn will give you a sentence with the word surroundings. Let's see. Right now, there are many things, surroundings around me. There's a pillow, a sofa, a lamp, pictures in the back there. What else? Plants. Oops. Surroundings. Surroundings. Your surroundings are the place where you are and all the people and things you see. Surroundings. Everything that's around you. Okay. And the movement that I'm going to use for surroundings, I'm going to do this when I hear it in the book. Surroundings. Things, people, everything that's around me. Surroundings. Okay? So I want you to think, remember those words. I'll hold them up again. Ridiculous. Something very silly. And surroundings. The place where you are and all the people and things around you. Surroundings and ridiculous. So when we hear those words, I want you to make the movements in when we read the book, okay? All right. Book is called Chameleons Are Cool by Martin Jenkins, illustrated by Sue Shields. I'm going to read this part here because I think that this is really interesting facts about chameleons. Chameleons are lizards, and lizards are reptiles, like snakes, crocodiles, and tortoises. There are about 4,000, I just learned something new, 4,000 kinds of lizards altogether, including around 120 different chameleons. I thought before that there was only one type of chameleon, but there are 120 different types of chameleons. Just over half of all the types of chameleons come from Madagascar, which is a big island off the coast of Africa. Most others live in mainland Africa, the continent of Africa. That's where chameleons live. All right, chameleons are cool. Some lizards eat bananas. Chameleons don't. Some lizards walk upside down on the ceiling. Chameleons can't. There's even a lizard that glides from tree to tree. A chameleon certainly wouldn't do that. Let's see, it looks like geckos' toes are as sticky as Velcro. Geckos are the lizard that can walk on top of the ceiling without falling down. That's very cool, I didn't know that. The flying lizard glides on ring-like flaps of skin. This is the lizard that can fly from tree to tree. And iguanas don't just eat bananas. They love all sorts of fruit. There's an iguana eating a banana. But all the different kinds of lizards, I still think chameleons are the best. Chameleons are cool. There's a chameleon. It's not that they're all that big. The biggest is only about the size of a small cat. It's called Austerlet's chameleon, and it lives in Madagascar. That's this type of chameleon, an Austerlet chameleon, and it's about the size of a house cat. Whatever their size, chameleons usually get sick and die if kept as pets. They're much better off left in the wild. Wow, that's something new that I didn't know. I didn't know that they can't be kept as pets. They can be really, really small, though. Look at how small that one is. The smallest one could balance happily on your little finger. It's called the dwarf brachysia, and it lives in Madagascar, too. So the dwarf brachysia, can balance on the tip of my pinky. That's so small. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second, and I want you to say it out loud to yourself if you're watching this by yourself, or if you're watching it with a family member. Tell that person or yourself something that you just learned about chameleons. Ready, go. Okay, we're going to keep reading. Keep that in your head. And I suppose you wouldn't exactly call many of them beautiful. Their skin is wrinkly and bumpy, and they've got big, bulgy eyes, while lots of them have the most ridiculous... That's my ridiculous face. What does that mean? Say it out loud. Something very silly. Very silly, ridiculous. While lots of them have the most ridiculous... Let's say this word together. Noses. I think it's their noses I like best. Look at all these different types of noses. Which one's your favorite? Point. I like this nose right here. I think that one's the most ridiculous. It's the silliest. Their mouths are pretty odd too. They turn down at the corners, which is why chameleons always look grumpy. Actually, they don't just look grumpy, they are grumpy. So, if two chameleons bump into each other, things can get pretty lively. That means pretty exciting. There's lots of puffing and hissing, and sometimes there's a real fight. Chameleons hiss? I had no idea. And that's when chameleons do what they're most famous for. What are chameleons most famous for? Say it out loud. Changing color. They change color. This little information text says, a chameleon will fight only with the same kind of chameleon as itself. So that means if this Austerlet chameleon bumps into this dwarf brachysia chameleon, they will not fight. They will only fight with an owlette chameleon will only fight with another owlette chameleon. Didn't know that either. So we just learned that they change color. They change color when they are about to fight each other. Lots of people think chameleons change color to match their surroundings. Put the book down and do that. Surroundings. What does surroundings mean? That's right. Something that is around somebody. Person, things that surround people. Surroundings. Lots of people think chameleons change color to match their surroundings. They don't. They change color when they're angry, or when they're too cold or too hot, or when they're sick. I just learned something new. I thought that chameleons changed color to blend in with their surroundings, to camouflage, but they actually change color when? That's right, when they're angry, when they are too cold, too hot, or when they're sick. Wow. And there are some sorts of chameleons that hardly change color at all. As a rule, though, chameleons don't bump into one another all that often. I suppose it wouldn't be fair to call them lazy, but they certainly don't move any more than they have to. And when they do, it's almost always incredibly slowly. Sometimes they stop completely in mid-step, as if they've forgotten what they're supposed to be doing. But if you look closely, you'll see that they're actually carefully peering about. Here's this information text. A chameleon's feet are shaped like pincers for holding on to branches tightly. What's a pincer? Say that out loud. What do you think a pincer is? A pincer is like, for example, on a crab or a lobster, they have the claws. A pincer is like a claw. So chameleons have feet that are shaped like pincers so that they can grab onto branches and climb. Okay, I want you to stop for 1 second. We're going to stop for 1 second, and I want you to tell somebody in the room what is the coolest fact that you just learned about chameleons. Ready, go. Okay, I'm going to share my cool fact that I just learned really fast. I thought that chameleons only change colors to camouflage, to blend in with their surroundings, but they actually change colors when they're angry or sick or too cold or too hot. Very cool fact. Now, peering about is something chameleons are rather good at. That's because their eyes can move separately from each other, unlike our eyes, which always move together. Watch my eyes. They move together. Now imagine a chameleon's eyes. This eye moves that way, that eye can move that way. So they can look at two different things at the same time. Wow. There it is looking there and down at the same time. So while one eye is looking back over the chameleon's shoulder, the other one is scanning the branches ahead. As soon as it spots something tasty, the chameleon fixes both eyes on its prey and begins to creep forward, even more slowly than usual. Then it opens its mouth just a crack and thwap. Out shoots this amazingly long tongue with a sticky tip at the end, like a piece of well-chewed chewing gum, to catch its prey. This little information text says, chameleons feed on all sorts of creepy crawlies. The big ones also eat small birds, mice, and even other chameleons? Chameleons eat birds? I am learning so many new things right now. This